The lady we're talking to right now, Charlene Shunick, is no stranger to News Talk 96.5 KPEL, and really no stranger to anybody in Lafayette or Acadiana. She is the sister of Mickey Shunick, who we lost 3 years ago. This week, the Lafayette City Parish Council voted to go ahead with a bike path, a memorial to Mickey Shunick. And Charlene joining us now to talk a little bit about her thoughts on that and to talk a little bit about Mickey herself and her legacy. So, Charlene, thank you for spending some time with Brandon and I. We appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Want to talk with you a little bit about, I know people ask you this all the time, or at least I bet they do. How has it been for you in these last several years?
Well, it's just been a period of adjustment because it's still kind of surreal that Mickey isn't around anymore. But I think we've been doing our best to make our lives positive and try and take what we learned from our experiences and help other people going through similar situations. So it's been interesting. It's been nonstop, really.
I would imagine. Probably so. Tell me, okay, so we know that Mickey loved bike riding and we know that she loved horses so much. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so my sister was a horseback rider from a very young age. My brother and I kind of took the route of playing sports, and my sister's sport was horseback riding.
Mm-hmm.
So she trained over at Willow Oak and rode for her entire life and started teaching younger students how to ride as well. She did, I believe, English style training or riding. I'm not, horse expert or anything, but she did that, and she taught a lot of students how to start treating horses and how to start training them, and that was kind of her gig aside from being a student for a really long time. And probably around the time she was 18 or 19, she started biking a lot. And really, by the time she was 20, that was her primary mode of transportation, unless she was going out to the barn that she rode at. So she biked and rode horses and pretty much got around on anything but a car, if you want to sum it up.
Well, and it's it was a good way, too, for her to be able to, like you said, get around. But not only that, no impact from a car, not having to worry about the gas, et cetera. So, and she loved to do it, right?
Yeah, and she really just maintained a really healthy lifestyle. She was really active. And I don't know if you bike, but I bike, and it kind of makes you appreciate the place where you live.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to see a different side of things with that.
So what does it mean to, your family to have this bike loop named in honor of Mickey, not just for the bicycling, obviously for the route itself, but also for the fact that this continues to raise awareness for bicycle safety and to continue to make Lafayette more bicycle friendly?
Yeah, I think it's really important. It's, we couldn't ask for more support still to this day from the community. And we're honored that they decided to name it after Mickey. I think the big thing for the city was making sure that there was going to be a safe place for people to bike, especially around the college. So now there's a safe bike route that's off of the busy streets, and I heard that they're going to be, putting lighting around it so that you can see, because biking in Lafayette at night it's pretty scary, especially because you want to take Johnson Street because it's lit and people can see you, but I would say probably a majority of the bicycling accidents that happen in the city are on Johnson Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know anyone that bikes regularly that hasn't been hit in the city.
Mm-hmm.
They don't usually get hurt, but they need to start raising awareness. And I think this is the first step in a long fight for a bike-friendly city.
Mm-hmm. Charlene, tell us about how you were doing in terms of your life and what you're doing now.
Well, I finished up with grad school in Dallas at UTD, and I moved back to New Orleans, where I had lived previously. And now I am teaching as kind of a part-time gig, and I'm running a nonprofit organization for missing people. We just got tax exemption, and we're building a world-first website right now. It's going to be a complete guide for all different types of missing people for their families to use to start their own campaigns. And it's great. You know, we have a good little group, a little family, and we've helped a lot of people already. And we will continue to do so, you know,
as it continues on. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's so great because we had a case 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe it's been a little bit longer, a gentleman who had a situation with his estranged spouse not bringing his children back. And
we definitely shared about that.
Yeah, and so you know not only that aspect, but the difficulty that you can have when you're first worried about your loved one of how to get the info out there, although you guys were smart and you did it right away on Facebook, but there's always obstacles, right?
Yeah, and, you know, sometimes starting a social media campaign the way we did isn't going to be the best option for everyone because of, you know, certain circumstances. For example, if your loved one has battled with addiction for their whole lives and they've gone missing before because of it, and now they've gone missing again, and you don't know if it's because of their, you know, battle with that disease or if someone took them or whatever is happening. And if you try to start a huge social media campaign, people are going to focus in on their past instead of looking at the facts that are present. And I think one thing we've been trying to help people understand is that just because someone has a history of whatever, it doesn't mean that that's why they're missing, and it might not have anything to do with that. And, you know, there's certain things that you have to think about before trying to get other people involved in that situation. So that's what we're trying to help people do.
Now, we know that this bike loop is obviously a lasting image of Mickey to people here in Lafayette and people that visit Lafayette. What is your lasting image of Mickey?
Just really the way she laughed, because she had like this cackle when she thought something was really funny. It wasn't even a laugh. It was just like air coming out. Be like, I can't do it. But I always think about that because like her whole body would like be laughing with her. So it was really funny when she started cracking up about something.
We understand what you have learned thus far and what you've been able to do to help people. But do you think, I know there have been tons of lessons. Do you think we as a Lafayette community, as an Acadiana community, do you think we grew as well through your sister?
Absolutely. And I see it every day. It seems like everyone I know that has siblings, you know, they have started appreciating their siblings more. The community really gets on board with all different types of missing person cases now. And we run quite a few pages, and majority of the time people who are sharing are people from our community. I just feel like there's an overall more positive, loving, family-type community that has come from it.
I think most people would absolutely agree. As we're summing up here today, if you would tell us a little bit more about the organization and how people can find out more information about what you're doing with helping finding missing people.
Yeah, sure. We have a huge online presence. We've kind of taken our presence from the Mickey Shunick campaign, and we kept running those pages because they're so large. And we started this organization, Resource Association for Missing People. Unlike other missing person organizations, we're kind of a research and resource-based organization. So we're going to be there when people have worked with police and private investigators and search and rescue teams and dog teams. We're going to be the other people to tell them what else they can do. So outside of law enforcement, sometimes there's not that many options. So we are compiling, you know, we have tons of data already. We just launched this quantitative analysis of all the missing person cases we've worked on that should be done within the year. And we're building this really great website that's going to have a missing person guide, a circumlocation map so that people can find resources in their area, and then kind of a quote-unquote encyclopedia of missing people. They'll have data, facts, and figures about missing people, as well as a blog where we talk about social topics like affecting missing persons. And we're going to feature, you know, tons and tons of missing people on there as well. So it's just going to be a pretty all-encompassing resource online that anyone should be able to use.
It sounds like it's excellent. Absolutely excellent. Charlene Shunick, thank you so much for your time today. We certainly do appreciate it. I think, this memorial, I think, is just another wonderful thing. The Bike Ghost Memorial as well, another great way for people to remember how beautiful and how wonderful your sister was.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we're continuing to turn our bad situation into a really beautiful and positive thing that is going to be helpful to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Well, Charlene Shunick has been our guest. Again, thank you for your time. We do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.